I'm Rebecca. I'm 28 years old. And in my family, my bank account has always been everyone else's emergency fund. While my younger sister posted vacation photos from Cabo, I was refreshing my balance to make sure mom's mortgage would clear, groceries for 3 households, car repairs I'd never drive, medical bills for people who had insurance but just needed a little help this month. That Tuesday morning, I finally said it out loud. Why am I the only one keeping this family afloat? No pause, no acknowledgement, just a sigh and that familiar phrase. Family helps family, Becca. That's when I realized they didn't just expect me to pay for everything. They expected me to feel guilty for even asking. Before we go on, tell me where you're watching from right now. Your kitchen table with bills spread out, your car during lunch break, or that corner coffee shop where you finally have a moment to breathe. I'm here with you! This didn't start last Tuesday. It started 6 years ago, quietly. The way financial abuse always does. Dad died when I was 22. 3 weeks before I graduated college. Heart attack at 51. No warning, no time to prepare. I was the oldest. That meant stepping up before I even understood what I was stepping into. Mom was devastated. I get that. I was devastated too. But somewhere between grief and survival, I became the solution to every problem money could fix. First, it was the funeral costs. $15,000 I didn't have. So I put it on credit cards with interest rates that still make my stomach turn. Just until the life insurance comes through, Mom said. The life insurance was $60,000. It disappeared in 8 months. I never saw a spreadsheet. I never got an accounting. When I asked, Mom's voice got tight. Are you really going to make me justify how I spent your father's death money? So I stopped asking. My younger sister Kayla was 19 then, in community college, working part-time at Starbucks. She moved back home after Dad died. Made sense. She was grieving, struggling, needed support. What didn't make sense was that 3 years later, she was still there, still working 20 hours a week, still contributing exactly $200 a month, while I covered the mortgage, utilities, groceries, and Mom's car payment. I had moved out right after college, got a 1-bedroom apartment in a decent part of town, landed a job in marketing that paid okay. $58,000 a year before taxes. Sounds comfortable until you're supporting 3 people on it. The requests started small. Can you grab some groceries when you come over Sunday? Then it was, the water heater broke. Can you cover it until I get paid? Mom's paychecks as a school administrative assistant were always spoken for. Kayla's Starbucks money was for her expenses. My marketing salary was apparently for everyone else's emergencies. By the time I turned 25, I had a system. Spreadsheet with 3 tabs. My bills, Mom's bills, Kayla's temporary expenses that had been temporary for 2 years. I paid Mom's mortgage on the 1st, her car payment on the 5th, phone bills for all 3 of us on the 10th, internet, electricity, water, all under my account because Mom's credit was complicated and Kayla was still building hers. I told myself this was temporary, that once Mom got a raise, things would balance out, that once Kayla finished school, she'd help. But Kayla kept changing majors, communications to graphic design, to psychology, to taking a semester off to figure things out. Each pivot meant another year of me covering the gap. When friends asked me to go on trips, I calculated the cost in mortgage payments. Cabo with the girls from work? That's 1.3 months of Mom's house payment. Weekend in Nashville? That's Kayla's car insurance for 3 months. I stopped saying yes. Eventually, they stopped asking. I started eating lunch at my desk to save $12 a day, bought the same 5 outfits from Target and rotated them for work. Cut my hair at Supercuts instead of the salon I used to love. Small sacrifices that added up to someone else's comfort. The worst part wasn't the money. It was the invisibility of it. Mom never said thank you. She said, "Did you remember to pay the electric?" Kayla never acknowledged it. She just texted me photos of her new tattoo, her weekend brunch, her Sephora haul. Treating myself, she'd write, with a winky face. I started tracking time the same way I tracked money. 15 hours a month managing Mom's bills. 20 phone calls to insurance companies, utility providers, debt collectors. 8 trips to Mom's house to fix things, move things, explain things that never got remembered. I was running a household I didn't live in and barely visiting the apartment I was paying for. My boyfriend Mark noticed before I did. We'd been together 2 years when he finally said it. "Becca, you know this isn't normal, right?" We were at dinner, a rare night out I felt guilty for enjoying. I'd just gotten a text from Mom. "Dishwasher's leaking. Can you call someone?" "She's my mom," I said. "What am I supposed to do?" "Not be her husband," he replied. You're 26 years old and you're covering a mortgage, bills, and your adult sister's life. When does it end? I didn't have an answer. The truth was, I'd stopped imagining an end. This was just what I did. Who I was. The responsible one. The one who handled things. The one who sacrificed so everyone else could be comfortable. Mark broke up with me 4 months later. He said he loved me, but he couldn't build a future with someone who was completely financially entangled with people who didn't respect her. Every time we talk about moving in together, getting engaged, you panic about how you'll still cover your mom's bills. I can't compete with that, Becca. And I shouldn't have to. He was right. I knew he was right. But I didn't know how to untangle myself without everything collapsing. The pressure didn't explode all at once. It accumulated. Like interest on debt you're only making minimum payments on. It was a Saturday in March when things shifted. I was at Mom's house fixing her printer for the 3rd time that month. Kayla was in the living room showing Mom photos on her phone. "Look at this Airbnb in Cabo," she said, excited. "Me and the girls are going for Riley's bachelorette party. 5 nights, all inclusive." My hands stopped moving on the printer cable. "How much is that?" $1,200 for my share, Kayla said casually. "But it's okay. I've been saving." Something in my chest went tight. "You've been saving?" "Yeah, like 3 months." She didn't look up from her phone. I walked into the living room. Mom was smiling at the photos. Beach, palm trees, infinity pool. "That looks amazing, honey. You deserve a break." "Kayla," I said, my voice too controlled. "You owe me $800 from when your car broke down in January." She looked up, annoyed at the interruption. "I know, Becca. I'll get it to you." "When?" "I don't know. When I have it?" "God, why are you being weird about this?" I felt something crack. Not break. Crack. Like ice on a windshield. Small at first. Then spreading. "You have $1,200 for Cabo, but you can't pay me back $800 you borrowed 3 months ago?" Mom's face changed. That warning look I knew too well. "Rebecca, don't start." "Start what?" "Asking to be paid back money I lent her?" "It's not like you're struggling," Kayla said. "You have a good job." "I have a good job that pays for this house, Mom's car, your phone bill, and apparently your lifestyle while you save for vacation." Silence. The kind that feels like pressure in your ears. Mom stood up. "If you're going to throw your help in our faces, maybe you should stop helping." That sentence hung in the air. I'd heard variations of it before. "If it's such a burden. If you resent us so much." Always designed to make me back down. Apologize. Shrink. This time, something was different. Maybe it was thinking about Mark. Maybe it was seeing Kayla's vacation photos. Maybe it was just 6 years of weight finally becoming too heavy. "Okay," I said. Mom blinked. "Okay, what?" "Okay, I'll stop." Kayla laughed, nervous. "You're being dramatic." I wasn't. For the first time in 6 years, I wasn't being dramatic. I was being clear. I walked to my car, got in, and sat there for 5 minutes with my hands on the steering wheel. My phone buzzed. "Mom, don't be ridiculous. Come back inside." I didn't go back inside. I drove to the library, found a quiet corner, and opened my laptop. I pulled up my spreadsheet. The one with 3 tabs. I stared at the numbers I'd been managing for 6 years. Mom's mortgage, $1,700 a month. Her car, $325. Insurance, $140. Utilities averaging $200. Groceries I bought for her house, $300. Kayla's phone, $75. Her car insurance, $150. Temporary loans never repaid, $11,400 over 6 years. My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From something else. Clarity, maybe. Or anger. Clean. Justified anger. I opened a new document and started typing. I texted my friend Jordan from work, the one who'd been telling me for years that my family was using me. "Can I ask you something insane?" She responded in 30 seconds. "Always. What happened?" I told her everything. The fight, the vacation, the realization. "I think I'm really done," I wrote. She didn't try to calm me down. She didn't tell me to be patient, or to remember that family is family. She said, "Then let's figure out what done looks like." I spent 3 hours at that library. Jordan came and sat with me. We made a plan. First, new bank account at a different bank. Transfer my direct deposit, Monday morning. Second, text to Mom and Kayla. Clear, documented, no room for misinterpretation. Third, list of every bill in my name that needed to be transferred or canceled. Fourth, boundaries. Written down. Non-negotiable. My phone was ringing. "Mom, Kayla, Mom again." I let them go to voicemail. I wasn't ready to talk. I was ready to act. Monday morning, I opened a new checking account at a credit union across town. Transferred my emergency fund. Updated my direct deposit. The woman processing my paperwork asked if I wanted to add any authorized users. No, I said. The word felt powerful. Monday afternoon, I sent the text. I wrote it and rewrote it 6 times. Jordan read every draft. Final version. Mom and Kayla, I love you both. But I can't continue to financially support 2 households. Effective immediately, I'm removing myself from bills that aren't mine. Mom, your mortgage, car payment, and utilities need to be in your name and paid from your account. Kayla, same with your phone and insurance. I'm happy to help you both set up payment plans and budgets. But I won't be the default payer anymore. This isn't punishment. It's necessary for my own financial health. I hope you understand. I hit send before I could second guess myself. The response was immediate. Mom called. I didn't answer. Kayla texted. Are you serious right now? Mom texted. This is how you treat family? After everything I've done for you? Kayla called. I didn't answer. Mom texted again. Your father would be ashamed of you. That one landed. I had to sit down, had to breathe through the guilt that rose up like nausea. Jordan was next to me. That's manipulation, Becca. You know that, right? I knew it. But knowing something and feeling it are different. I texted back, only to Mom. Dad would want me to be financially stable. Not bankrupt from supporting adults who can support themselves. I love you. My boundaries stand. Then I muted the conversation. The fallout was immediate and messy. Day 1, 17 missed calls, 43 text messages, ranging from angry to pleading to insulting. Day 2, Mom showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. She stood outside for 20 minutes. My neighbor asked if I was okay. I said yes, but I didn't feel okay. I felt like I was the one doing something wrong. Day 3, Kayla sent a long text about how selfish I was, how I was abandoning family, how Mom was crying constantly, how I was destroying everything. I almost caved. Almost transferred the mortgage payment out of habit. Jordan literally took my phone out of my hands. Don't you dare. Day 4, silence. Eerie, heavy silence. Day 5, a different kind of message. From Mom. The mortgage is due tomorrow. I don't have the full amount. I stared at that text for 10 minutes. The old me would have fixed it, would have transferred the difference, would have solved the problem so no one had to be uncomfortable. The new me texted back. I can help you call the bank to set up a payment plan. Would you like their number? She didn't respond. Day 7, Kayla texted. My car insurance got canceled. Did you call them to set up a payment? I wrote back. I don't know how to do that. I can walk you through it if you want. But I won't pay it for you. Read at 3:42 p.m. No response. The thing about consequences is, they don't care about feelings. They just happen. Mom's mortgage didn't get paid on time. She got a late fee. Kayla's car insurance lapsed. She couldn't drive for 3 days until she figured out how to call the company and set up a payment plan with her own debit card. The house didn't collapse. The world didn't end. They were uncomfortable, frustrated, angry. But they figured it out. Week 2. The messages changed tone. Mom, how do I set up autopay for the electric bill? I sent her a screenshot with step-by-step instructions. Kayla, what's a good budget app? I sent her 3 options. They weren't warm. They weren't grateful. But they were learning. Week 3, Mom called. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. I need help understanding my mortgage statement, she said. No hello. No apology. Just the request. Okay, I said. What part? She was quiet for a second. All of it. I never looked at it before. You always just handled it. We spent 40 minutes on the phone. I explained escrow, principal, interest, how to read the payment breakdown. She didn't say thank you, but she listened. Really listened. When we hung up, I felt something unexpected. Not satisfaction, not vindication, just tired relief. Week 4, Kayla showed up at my apartment. This time I opened the door. She looked different, less polished, like she'd been thinking instead of just reacting. Can we talk? I let her in. We sat on opposite ends of my couch. I'm mad at you, she said. I know, but I'm also mad at myself. Her voice cracked. I didn't realize how much you were doing. I thought you just had more money. I didn't think about where it was going. I waited. I canceled Cabo, she said quietly. Used the money to pay off my car insurance for 6 months and pay you back the $800. She pulled out her phone, showed me a Venmo transfer. $800. Pending. I felt my throat tighten. You didn't have to cancel your trip. Yeah, I did. I was spending money I didn't have and borrowing from you to cover the gap. That's not okay. She wiped her eyes. I still think you were harsh. But you were right. We didn't hug. We weren't there yet. But something shifted. Month 2, things stabilized into a new normal. Not perfect, not warm, but functional. Mom set up autopay for her bills. She picked up extra hours doing after-school tutoring. She didn't tell me about it, but Kayla did. Kayla moved in with 2 roommates, got a full-time job at a marketing agency, cut her hours at Starbucks. She started paying all her own bills. I started sleeping better. Not longer. Deeper. The kind of sleep you get when you're not carrying weight that isn't yours. I still helped. When Mom's water heater actually died, I researched options and helped her apply for a home repair loan. When Kayla's laptop broke, I sent her a list of refurbished options under $300 and a payment plan site. I helped. I didn't rescue. Month 3, Mom invited me to dinner. At her house. Just us, she said. I'll cook. I went, cautious. The house looked different. Cleaner, somehow. More organized. There was a calendar on the fridge with bills marked in different colors. A chore chart with Mom and Kayla's names. My name wasn't on it. We ate lasagna. Mom's recipe, the one Dad used to love. We didn't talk about money. We talked about her students, my work, a book she was reading. After dinner, while we were doing dishes, she said it. Quiet, like she was testing the words. I didn't realize how much I was leaning on you. I thought because you could handle it, you should. I was wrong. I stopped washing the plate in my hands. Your dad dying broke something in me, she continued. And instead of fixing it, I just let you carry it. That wasn't fair. I put the plate down, turned to look at her. Her eyes were wet. I'm trying to do better, she said. It's hard, but I'm trying. I know, I said. And I did. She didn't ask me to come back. She didn't ask me to take over again. She was just being honest. That's all I'd ever wanted. Month 6, Kayla called me. I got a promotion. That's amazing. Yeah, and I want to celebrate. Dinner, my treat. For real this time. We went to a nice restaurant. Not expensive, but nice. She paid, insisted on it. I can afford this now, she said, proud. Over dessert, she said something that surprised me. I'm glad you cut us off. I raised an eyebrow. I'm serious. I was a mess, Becca. I didn't know how to do anything because you always did it for me. I resented you for it, but I also depended on it. That's not healthy. No, I agreed. It's not. I'm better now, stronger. I actually know how to handle my life. She smiled, small but real. I couldn't have learned that if you kept saving me. I visit them now. Once, sometimes twice a month. As a daughter, as a sister. Not as a bank, not as a manager, not as the person responsible for keeping everything from falling apart. There's a boundary now. Clear, visible. They know where it is. Most of the time, they respect it. When Mom calls, she asks how I am before she asks for anything. When Kayla texts, it's about her life, not my wallet. Last month, something happened that felt impossible a year ago. Mom called and asked if I needed anything. I know you've been working a lot, she said. Do you want me to bring you some meals for the week? I made extra. I said yes. She brought over lasagna, chicken soup, and a container of her chocolate chip cookies. When she left, I sat on my couch with that Tupperware in my lap and cried. Not sad crying. Release crying. I used to think leaving meant abandoning my family. Walking away. Choosing myself over them. I was wrong. I didn't leave them. I left the role that was destroying me. The role that made them helpless and made me resentful. The role that looked like love but was actually codependency. I learned something important through all of this. Being strong doesn't mean carrying everything. Being generous doesn't mean giving until you have nothing left. And being family doesn't mean one person sacrifices endlessly while everyone else takes. Real love includes boundaries. Real family respects them. I wasn't selfish. I was finally being honest. Honest about my limits. Honest about what I could and couldn't do. Honest about what was sustainable and what was slowly breaking me. The healthiest thing I ever did was stop saving people from consequences they needed to face. If this story felt familiar to you, you're not alone. You're not cruel for having boundaries. You're not selfish for protecting your peace. And you're not responsible for managing other people's lives. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling and start empowering. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts.